Finding yourself. Finding yourself is not really how it works. You aren't a $10 bill in last winter's coat pocket. You are also not lost. Your true self is right there, buried under cultural conditioning, other people's opinion, and inaccurate conclusions you drew as a kid that became your belief about who you are. Finding yourself is actually returning to yourself and unlearning, an excavation, a remembering who you were before the world got its hands on you. It's very well said by Emily McDowell, and it has a very deep meaning. It actually deals with the recognition, the idea, the awareness about one's own existence. Now, the very first line of this quote, finding yourself is not really how it works. How it works means how we imagine and how we take the things, consider the ideas of the other people, and start finding ourselves in other people's opinion, which is a blunder. It's entirely wrong, because you aren't a $10 bill. She said you aren't a $10 bill in the last winter's coat pocket was lost somewhere a long time ago, and suddenly you found it. Your soul, yourself is not like that. You are not lost, and you are priceless. Okay, you are not lost, and you are not like you will get it someday. Okay, so it's not like that. Now, she said your true self is right there. Your true self, the person you are, the life inside you. You can call it a soul, you can call it life breathing inside you. Your skin, your name, your family background, your family, the belief system, the custom, the culture, the color. It is not you. It is not you. The soul has no shape. The feelings has no shape. The emotions, no shape. You have to go deeper inside you because it's there. She said your true self is right there. It means it exists inside somewhere, buried, but it is buried. Your true self is buried. Where it is buried? It is buried under cultural conditioning. Now, what is cultural conditioning? The environment we live in. The environment we live in. From the very beginning, as a child, whatever belief system is prevailing in our family from long ago till the time our ancestors used to practice it, and the surrounding, the area, the location we live, and the people we are surrounded with, they condition us. We are not able to think beyond it. That is why if you just experience it, if you just take it, there are certain things which is very obvious and natural, and we find it everywhere. Even at a working place, people talk about others' way of living, right? The way the other person live, the way the other person dress up, his or her attitude, his mentality, the way she thinks, the way he feels and he talks about, we get so much critical. If it is not according to us, if it is not according to our conditioning and belief system and the norms we believe, we start criticizing. Either we appreciate or criticize. These are the two things. But can anybody tell? Can we prove that what is right and what is wrong? It's just because a survey report throughout the world, certain things happen frequently, and that becomes a fixed survey report that this thing is right and this thing is wrong, right? So we get totally imprisoned in that conditioning, and we act and react accordingly, which is entirely wrong. So she said, we are not lost. Our true self is actually buried under the cultural conditioning. What other people's opinion is. We are very much affected by people's opinion. हम कहते हैं कि लोग क्या कहेंगे. लोग हमारी ज़िंदगी नहीं जीते, फिर भी हमें ये चिंता है लोग क्या कहेंगे. तो where we are, where is the freedom of the soul, where is the importance of this existence on the planet? I should ask, you should ask, why the hell I'm existing? If God has created me and this is my life and I'm so much affected by what will people say and what they're gossiping about and this and that and so, do you think it's a worse slavery? It's a worse slavery. People will keep on talking about. Let them. They will talk and forget. They need to pass their time, so they'll gossip. And that's perfectly fine. It's their karma. Now, so she said it is totally buried under cultural conditioning. Our family, the belief system, cultural conditioning, other people's opinion, and with these two factors of cultural conditioning plus other people's opinion, we draw inaccurate conclusions about ourselves. We draw inaccurate conclusions about ourselves. For example, if someone sees different people have different opinion about us. Let's take one example. Some like woman, for example, she's very concerned about her looks. Like she should look nice and beautiful and perfect in every way. One person will appreciate her, right? And that you look really good, you look damn good and gorgeous and whatnot. The other person will say, you are a little chubby, you are fat, you need to work out. The third person will find something else in you. So some will appreciate, some will not like. Why we are affected with these things? We never felt so happy if somebody appreciate us. Rather we feel more low when somebody comment us and find faults and flaws in us. In anger or in ego we say I don't care, but deep down inside those words actually hurt and we suffer from low self-esteem. We have to confess it. It's there somewhere or the other. We have to get rid of this now. This is the thing we have to work on now. So we draw a lot of inaccurate conclusions, and this this belief system comes up with these number of inaccurate conclusions since childhood. If you recall your childhood, you'll come to know the things you went through, that that had a great impact on your thinking, your emotions, and your belief system. Some children, they don't receive much love and attention, and they are always in need of love, care, tight hugs, understanding. Some are slow learners, and people and teachers and parents, they keep on comparing and they say that you are a slow learner, you are not going to get anything. Some are emotionally disturbed and they get so hard-hearted. Then we start finding faults in those kids or teenagers, but we never try to find out what actually happened with them throughout that lifespan. It's a very deep thing. We never work on ourselves. That is why we are not able to understand the other human being, right? So conditioning, cultural conditioning, other people's opinion, and finally when we draw the inaccurate conclusions as a kid, that becomes our belief system. That becomes who we are today. Sorry for this barking outside, I can't help it. So let's continue with it now. So this is the actual scenario. Now, finding yourself is actually returning to yourself. Now this is a question: how to return to my own self? Returning to own self, it is an unlearning I'm talking about. When you are not learned, when you don't know how to reason the things, when the mind starts reasoning, it becomes very practical and never accept emotions and judge everything, profit, loss, and so many things. So we have to, in order to find yourself, means you have to return to yourself, who you are. You took birth. Just imagine yourself as a baby. You are not aware of the family, right? You don't know about the parent. Who's your parent? Nothing else. You don't know anything. You just know love. You just know trust. A nurse holding a baby in her hand. The baby never judge. The baby never feel insecure. It has no fear. See how pure. No expectations, just love. No judgment. Baby never judge itself even. The kid, they do tantrums. You must have seen doing tantrums. They want something, they just lay down in a shopping mall. They want something, they want it, so they want it. Okay, it's the other way how parent treat that child. But see, express yourself. Why we are confined to this belief system and killing ourselves? The main thing is the soul is dying inside, and it's not that happy. We are happy with temporary things, the way we look, right? The new haircut, the new dressing, it's okay. It gives you happiness, right? Definitely it does. And one should live complete without bothering about what people say. But equally, it's important to know yourself. For that, you have to excavate. You understand excavation, right? You have to excavate. You have to dig deep inside.